Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'd like to show what I do with the gardening books and magazines that I get in the recycling. There are a lot of pictures which, even though they're nice, I get so many that you know, I don't want to make journaling cards and pages out of all of them and that. So I like to do some simple embellishments like with my punches and envelopes and things like that. So I've been ripping up this Wildflowers of Australia book, and this was full of some really nice pictures, but they're not like the best. Now ones like this I probably would use as a journaling card or something because it's a nice shape. So I'll go through it again and see, because it does have some gorgeous pictures, as you can see. And these ones as well. Be beautiful as journaling cards. Could even fussy cut that one. But I have taken some pages out and sorted them. Now, with the big pages like this, I like to make envelopes. So I've got a whole heap of pages here. You can see it's quite glossy too, and that's another reason I wouldn't use it too much in journals for pages and that, but it's, you know, quite nice as envelopes and that. So I always, when you get a big page that's full of pretty flowers and that, I like to keep it for envelopes. So they're the ones that I'm thinking of trying out. So I'll do my envelopes another day with those, but I will show you. I've got a few here. Now I've stuck these little stickers on to say what size I used and everything, because I get confused when I look at my punch board. It's hard for me to imagine what they're going to look like when they're done. So I thought I'll do some and stick little stickers on them to tell me what sizes they are, so I can have a look and see which size I want before I start. Because I've made, you know, cut out so many and realised that they're not the size that I want, so I thought this will make life easier. But see, they're quite nice. These are vintage book pages, these ones. The only thing you've got to be careful of is some of the old pages are quite brittle, so you do a tester first and see how it folds. If it folds all right without cracking, then you're right to use them for your envelopes. So that's one thing I like doing. Now, I decided to try and organise myself a bit when I was doing this the other night and actually go through, and I was using the little sticky notes again, and they stick really well, which I was surprised about too, the plastic of these sheets. So I was able to organise it into categories, so it was a lot easier when I was cutting them out. They're all organised for me to put away now. So I've got animals and want to do a purple journal sometimes, so I've got purple flowers, floral, snow. But what I'm looking for is my floral punch. So these are the pictures that I've taken out of some of the books. I've got a few in here for starters that I want to use my punches on. So I look for ones that have lots of little flowers. And you see, I probably wouldn't use this otherwise. I am spoilt for choice and do have a lot of pictures that I can use. So I just like the arrangements here for punching out. So let's start with this one, because we can get a fair few out of that. So I reckon it's that way up. So I like to use like my big circle punch, my little tag punch, my stamp punch, and sometimes my little circle punch as well. So I always start with the bigger punch. So I'll just cut this edge off. Make life a bit easier so that my punch can reach. Got a brown paper bag over there that I can chuck all my paper scraps into for the recycling. So yeah, I just go along and see where I think it looks good. Now this is all the same, so it pretty well look good anyway. So I'll just chop that off. Might do another one of those because we've got heaps that we can. And then I'll grab my tag punch. Usually as it gets up to the top it is a bit fuzzy, so it's not so good, but I'll just cut these bits out. Grab my tag punch. I can make very pretty tags, these. Doesn't cut the best this sometimes, probably because the pages are glossy. But I can neaten it up afterwards. A couple of those. And we'll do a couple of our stamps. So good to use the different size punches because, you know, you waste a lot less of the paper in the picture then. Let me just cut off. Yeah, I like the look of this flower here, if I can get him in there a bit. So basically, you know, I'll go through magazines and that and decide what pages I might use for what. And then I'll sit down with my punches and just go through and make a whole lot of patterns. Do a couple of the little circles. Very slippery. So we might just start with those. You don't need to watch me punch out 1,000 pictures, so I'll show you what I do with them. Make some very simple embellishments, and you've got a few choices of what you can do with them all. So we'll start with the tags. Now, I did bring out my coloured cardstock. You can of course use your tea dyed paper or cardboard or your recycled cardboard, which I do as well. I usually use that sort of thing actually, but I thought I'd go for broke tonight and use some pretty coloured stuff since I have it. So this has multiple different colours of pinks that I think will go quite nicely with that. Don't know if I want that. I think I quite like that one. So I've just got all my coloured cardstock standing up, all my A4 cardstock in one of these magazine racks. Works really well, easy to grab. Ooh, it's heavy though. So then you can cut out a couple of backs for your tags. You'll be able to write on that as well. And just stick them on. As I said, my punch doesn't work the best around the edges, so sometimes I go around with my scissors and just tidy it up a bit, but I won't worry about doing that right now. I'll try using some foil on my punch, but I think it's more the type of page as much as the actual punch, so because it works quite well on that cardstock. So these are really easy, but they are really pretty, and especially for your nature journals or your colour themed journals, they'd look really nice. And of course, if you don't like the gloss, you could try some matte spray or some gesso over the top. But I don't mind the gloss if you're doing a, you know, junk journal where you're putting bits and pieces from everywhere in. It doesn't really matter. So yes, I've been trying to sort out my ribbons today. I think my ribbons are worse than my books. So I've got them pretty well done. I just have to change the drawer that they're in. Try and move it over before the glue dries. Just see a little bit down there, but that doesn't matter. So I'll let that dry a bit. And then of course you can do the same to strengthen up these circles as well, which we will do. I'm going to do an extra circle. And while I've got this, I might do a couple of little ones as well. So yes, I've just been tidying up today, having a nice day at home with the dog, which is good. It's going to be a busy week this coming week. On Tuesday, I'm going to meet a fellow junk journaler that lives in South Australia, so that's really exciting. I think we're swapping Happy Mail too, since we don't have to post it. It'll save us a bit of money on postage. So I've got to get my Happy Mail I've got to get a few Happy Mails done tonight actually. Must not forget. Pretty well got that one on perfect. That's strange. Now, this one I'm just going to chop like that for now. And I will grab, did I only do one little circle? Doesn't matter. I will stick this on too. Stuck to my finger better than it's stuck to the cardstock. Alright, now with one of these, I can never tell which way is up. Probably doesn't really matter as long as it looks alright. So what you can also do is punch out another circle, cut it down a bit and stick it on like a little pocket, which looks alright. And then you can embellish it further if you want. So I reckon that would look alright, so I might stick that on. Now I'll use a little glue for this. Let's get a good line around the bottom edge here. There we go. Right, now these should be dry, our little tags. They're looking pretty good. So then you can go ahead and do the hole punch. Get it the right side. So I think they look pretty cool just as they are. I mean, I do embellish them, which I will embellish these a little, but sometimes I think it actually doesn't really make them any better because I did embellish a couple before. I can find them. I did these ones with purple. So they've got purple cardstock on the back. A beautiful picture. But it was a scrap bit from an envelope that I made, so it was just the little bit that was left. So you grab your scrap bits and go over them with your punches, and they actually look quite good. So I'll look for something we can put on these. Might have some lace or something that'll go alright. I don't know if I've got anything that's really thin enough. If not, I've got ribbon, so trying to make sure I get a colour that suits. It looks a bit thick. That one's not too bad. It's not really the colour I want. Now I knocked my glue over once. Got white ribbons, which wouldn't be too bad. Probably should have gone through beforehand and seen if I had any nice thin ones. Most of them look pretty thick. Can cut some of them down a bit. Have a look at this one. It's not too bad, even thick. But I'll cut it down and see how it looks. Just cut these little bits that are sticking up off. Don't mind that, so I'll whack that on. I wouldn't embellish these much though, they don't need it, they've got so much on them. Just leave the bottom bit hanging down. Pretty sweet. Now, just thinking, what do I use for a tie? I think I have some, I don't know if I've got thin white. Got a whole lot of ribbon here. There might be some white in there. Oh, that's the lace. The other bit of the lace might look pretty good too. Let's try that. Tighten the knot and see what it's like, if I can. Nothing on TV again this weekend, so I've started binging on 13 Reasons Why. Finished Mindhunter, so I thought I'd start on 13 Reasons Why. Oh, I know I sort of got hold of it. I hate tying things on camera, but I'm hopeless at it. I'm alright when I'm not on camera. Although I always say that. There. Oh. It's not very long, but that's alright. Try and get it to stick up a little bit. Alright, quite like that. And then we've got this one. Might look for some. This is a ribbon that I was trying to sort out today. This is just the ones I've got on little rolls. There is more. I've got all the stuff I got from the op shops as well, and that's all in bags, so goodness me. Look for a colour. That's quite nice. So I want thinner ribbon, but that one actually. If I can get it out. I'm waiting for Atypical to come back on Netflix for this season because I love that. It's funny. Down the bottom. Alright, get the glue bump off the top. Make sure it's on there straightish. It's not too bad. My fridge is making noises again. That is not my stomach if you can hear it. It is the fridge, I promise. lengthens these a bit. Nice little tag. Of course you can embellish them more. I mean, I do have some sticky dots, but as I said, the flowers are so like pretty as they are that you really don't need to do much. Most of the time I leave them bare because I like them like that. Could stick one of those up there, which I might do something different. It's good to have some variety. If I can get it off my finger. I'll just try and wipe off a little bit of glue. There, that's better. So they make quite sweet little embellishments that you can slip in. You could leave like the ribbon off of the top and use it and not put a hole in it and use it as a little tuck spot or something too. And it's like with these, you can make, you know, put your hole in and make these tags as well. Or you can just stick them in as little tuck spots and tuck stuff behind them. And as I said, this, you know, has that little area where you could tuck. You know, if we make a tag to match, you can tuck it in there as well. Or even a littler circle or something can be tucked in. So, and that can be embellished. Putting some lace on there would be nice. Let's see what I've got here in my big mess of lace. It's obviously not organised enough because I can never find anything. End up sticking to white again. Got this scrap piece. Would be quite nice with some white. I think this is too pink. Yeah, too pink for me, and I think this is too vintage. Yeah, I don't like that on there either. Just get a very good bit of that. I do quite like that though. Now, have some of this that might go under it. That looks alright. Bit of this off and knock everything over again. And yeah, I like that colour. Now, best of putting the glue on these little in-between bits. So I should have some nice weather coming next weekend, which will be great. I'll be able to start getting out and pulling the mile-high weeds that I've got. Start planning my veggie patch. Right, that's not too bad. Looks good about there, I reckon. Now, did I? Yes, I did stick that down. Good. Cut the excess off. Might do from this side. So that's that one. So this would be lovely. I probably should have left the lace off of one of these, and then that could slip in, because it's like with the lace on, it's not so easy to slip it in. This ribbon one would be better, but even then you can slip it in. You just have to be careful. But yeah, slip that in, stick that on the page, tuck stuff behind it, slip something little in there, which is pretty nice. Put those up there. So with these, you could like Mod Podge over the top or whatever, but they make good envelope closures. So for example, now I do have, these are little envelopes though, so it won't really go on the little one, but you could stick it to the back, just stick the bottom there, and it could be what you use, the tab you use to close your envelopes. And I think they're really pretty on a plainer envelope back to do that with. Or of course you could use them in clusters and stuff like that as well. So that's what I do with those. Now we'll show you. So I've cut out, I've got some backs here for some others that I wanted to make. I go through, that's another back. Now there's, you know, cut-offs and bits of plants that I think are boring and I wouldn't use in any other way, and I just go through them and do the circles and that, so I've got a pile of them here. But you know, it's quite nice like that. I'd use that in a journal, and as I said, you can like back it or do your little pocket, make it a tag, make it your tuck spot, use it as part of a collage or embellishment. And there's another one I've done with a little pocket. I really like that one. Could do with a bit of embellishing. You can even stick words on there. You can even use these circles as backings for your artist trading coins too, because they're the right size. The is it 2.5 inch? Yeah, 2.5 inch punch. So you could, you know, stick that down on a backing and then stick a B on there and a word or something and make a coin out of it. So another backing. So I've got a lot. This was an indoor plant book, I think, that was quite boring, so just cut a whole heap out of it. I had a whole heap more than that. Don't know where, oh, there they are. My table's a bit of a mess at the moment. Yeah, so some of them are more boring, so I just do a whole heap and then go through them afterwards and see which ones I like. But it's funny how some of them I don't like very much, but then when I think of a specific theme or something, they'd go really well. So it's so much fun sitting down at the TV, going through, there's some roses, and just punching away at stuff. This was some old vintage book. I think it was flower arranging or something. Hopefully you've been able to see them all. I haven't been holding them up very high, have I? I love that one. That one turned out good. So yeah, after you've cut out the bit you want, it's like if you've got pictures on both sides of the page and you cut something out of one side, I always turn over and look at the other side and see if there's bits that I can punch out and use. I think that's one of my favourites. I might have to put that in my mushroom and fern journal that I got from Jeanette. And then with the little stamps that we cut out, I've shown them before. I have a container here which I'm filling up. I think I gave some away in a Happy Mail with all different coloured ones. And I have used those before on these envelopes. And I think they're a beautiful size for your smaller envelopes. There's another one. Put 2 on that one. And then I have also done some little tags. These are really basic ones as well, and they weren't coffee dyed, so I kept these ones bright, but bit of eyelash trim and bit of bling, and just back them onto some scrap paper that I found and onto one of your little luggage tags. So I sat down and did a few of these one night, and you know, if you had a page in a journal where we put, you know, that in, this could be up the top or tucked in, or, and it would actually go quite nicely. So there's a few more of those. I just had my scrap, you know, my little scrap box with tiny little offcuts of ribbon and lace and that, and just used the bits and pieces in there to add to, and paper scraps. And these are heaps fun to make, these ones. So yes, so I could keep making more and more, but I won't, because if I do, knowing my luck, my battery would run out. So I'll leave that as it is, but you will see me using book pages. When I'm not doing my design team project and that, you'll see me using book pages heaps in the future. So yeah, we've got those ones. As I said, that one I'd probably leave as is and just put it in as a tuck spot. But you know, you can do your scrappies with them, where you put a whole layer them a whole lot with other bits and pieces. That would look really good. And there's our little tags. So thanks for watching, guys, and I shall be back on again soon, hopefully doing some Christmas bits and pieces. That'll be fun. So take care, everyone, and I will see you soon. Bye.